In this video, we'll be analyzing the new tariffs set by President Trump on the mining industry and their impact on the American economy. During Donald Trump's presidential campaign that led him to office, he made several promises, one of which was to change the tariffs on the mining industry, specifically on aluminum and steel. A few weeks ago, these promises came to fruition. The mining industry saw a 25% increase on tariffs to imported steel and a 10% increase to aluminum. All this came with an important exception. Mexico and Canada would not see an increase to these tariffs. While some applauded this action, others were not so pleased. Impacts on the car manufacturing industry, construction industry, and computer industry were rapidly experienced throughout the country. This controversial and rather unpopular move was met with anger and rejection from many of the US key allies. The American steel industry is going to be notably benefited due to their supply of tariffless steel. On the other hand, industries such as aeronautics and car manufacturing are going to be negatively affected as a consequence of the new import prices and the huge demand that steel and aluminum national providers will not be able to meet. This has unbalanced consequences because the rise in demand for domestic producers results in higher prices, which raises the prices overall in the steel market in the US. This causes the aggregate demand to shift to the right, as it can be clearly seen in the graph above. Due to the fact that the US is the world's largest importer of steel, there will be negative results, because the most probable result of this is that the demand of steel and aluminum will reduce due to the higher prices. Therefore, it causes less purchasing power in the consumer and decreases spending in the country. An imposition of a tariff like this to Mexico will do nothing other than distort trade, and this will lead to the loss of jobs in our country. Trump may have just started a trade war with many countries, and if Mexico begins to be a part of this, our government will start to retaliate against a country that imposes trade barriers with quotas and tariffs. Mexico could retaliate in different ways. First off, restricting agricultural imports. Mexico is the third largest destination for US agricultural exports. Though a bit extreme, Mexico could impose travel restrictions, as citizens from Mexico spend around $10 billion annually in the US. Another measure Mexico could take would be filing a trade dispute. Mexico could file a formal dispute with the World Trade Organization. Financial penalties and sanctions may be recommended by the WTO to be placed upon the US. This potential trade war will have considerable economic impact for both currencies. As the peso value against the USD depreciates, there will be less demand.